Hello and welcome to part 1 of the Marketer's Guide to Game Experiences, another installment in the Gaming Marketing Made Simple series. The following builds on concepts covered in the Marketer's Guide to Gaming Campaigns, so please complete all 4 of those modules before continuing. This learning content is provided by the Gaming Marketing Institute, an innovative initiative with a mission to clarify and simplify the practice of gaming marketing. The Gaming Marketing Institute is owned and operated by the Esports Group, an agency with roots in esports and gaming since 2015, which means this and all other learning material is designed for and by practitioners. So if you want to shape knowledge that inspires effective work, this module is for you. The objective of this module is to shape your knowledge of digital gameplay, since, as we previously covered, all game experiences, as well as the entire gaming ecosystem, are dependent on and/or derived from gameplay. Likewise, creating and/or tapping into gameplay touchpoints is a powerful tactic for effective gaming campaigns. So, we will illustrate the 3 tenets of gameplay that all in-game touchpoints must resonate with. To do so, we will examine a gaming campaign for State Farm, an American insurance brand, in partnership with Take-Two Interactive's NBA 2K game franchise. Executed by the marketing arm in fall 2021, the State Farm NBA 2K22 campaign was a winner in the native advertising, a silver honor in branded content, and an audience honor in the native advertising categories at the 14th Annual Shorty Awards, an international awards competition honoring the best work by brands, agencies, nonprofits, and individuals across digital and social platforms. For those unfamiliar, the NBA 2K franchise is a basketball simulation game title that aims to be the most authentic representation of professional basketball on and off the court, where, in addition to being able to play basketball games, players can navigate an open-world layout called The City, which expands the playable experience into an urban setting full of other human players and non-playable characters. The marketing arm tapped into The City by integrating a virtual version of Jake from State Farm, the fictional character from State Farm's TV and video advertising, as the game's first ever branded non-playable character, as well as a State Farm virtual store where visitors can earn branded clothing to dress like Jake from State Farm. In other words, the marketing arm transformed existing assets like Jake from State Farm into in-game touchpoints to inspire action from the NBA 2K game community, where effective in-game touchpoints are realized by authentic integration into NBA 2K's playable experience, which, like all in-game experiences, exhibits the following characteristics. Full immersion in gameplay qualifies as being in what psychologists call flow. This state requires a loss of self-consciousness, aided by the reality that gamers either lose their real-world identity and/or take on another identity within a virtual world. In NBA 2K, for example, gamers navigate the city with a self-styled avatar that serves as their in-game identity. The same avatar displays the State Farm clothing should players choose to wear it. This layered nature of gameplay is why video games are experiences instead of just technological products or digital media, since players can be immersed in so much more than playing with technology and/or virtual content consumption. That's also why we refer to the virtual Jake from State Farm non-playable character and the State Farm in-game store as touch points, since they are part of the rich tapestry of emotions and moments associated with a game's playable experience, as opposed to just virtual display advertising. Even though a branded store where Jake from State Farm recognizes and greets individual visitors cannot realistically exist in a real-world setting, it can exist within NBA 2K's Magic Circle. The term Magic Circle, coined by Dutch historian Johan Huizinga, marks NBA 2K's virtual world in which interactions like meeting and interacting the Jake from State Farm character in a store are very much real and possible, despite being unreal beyond the circle. State Farm's in-game touchpoints are, likewise, effective because even simulation game titles like NBA 2K, which are designed to mirror real-world activities, require a certain amount of illusion within their magic circles. In other words, it's okay to stretch the boundaries of believability so long as campaign touchpoints are authentic to the game experience's balance between real and illusion. All games have defined rules in the form of predetermined limitations and boundaries. For instance, NBA 2K rules dictate there are only two ways to obtain the State Farm Polo and the State Farm khakis. One is to complete a quest that begins with interacting with the virtual Jake from State Farm. The other is to purchase with in-game currency. Most importantly, rules specify what actions players can take to achieve goals of the game. In other words, rules and goals are tied together. So, realizing that players aren't looking for insurance in the city, State Farm, instead, weaved their brand into touchpoints in the form of branded clothing that resonated not only with rules, but also the goal of leveling up in-game avatars. That said, let's explore the NBA 2K campaign's impact and results. The virtual Jake from State Farm generated 1.5 million interactions. In addition to 752,000 players visiting the State Farm in-game store, which was 40% higher than non-playable character interactions for other marketing partners in-game. It's important to understand that these eye-catching results are not solely the result of branding a non-playable character and opening a virtual store. Instead, they result from leveraging existing assets as in-game touchpoints which resonate with State Farm's brand identity and purpose, and effectively blend into the three previously mentioned aspects of NBA 2K's playable experience. Put another way, a different brand could execute identically, and it may not effectively connect with audiences. For example, if competing insurance brand Geico hypothetically followed the same strategy and brought its brand mascot into NBA 2K's virtual world as a non-playable character, the inclusion of a life-sized talking gecko would break the game's magic circle by veering too much into the realm of unreality. Whereas Jake from State Farm perfectly matched NBA 2K's balance between fantasy and reality. Now, let's recap the three digital gameplay properties that all effective in-game touchpoints should resonate with. The first is that all video games require players to either lose their real-world identity and/or take on another identity within a virtual world. The addition of State Farm clothing for avatars, which represent player identity in NBA 2K, exemplifies how to blend brand presence into that aspect of a game's playable experience. Every digital game also establishes what is called a magic circle, which is a dedicated world in which there is some degree of illusion. As a result, effective in-game touchpoints should resonate with that level of unreal reality to be perceived as authentic to the game experience. For instance, including Jake from State Farm as a non-playable character who greets players in a virtual store matched NBA 2K's balance between illusion and simulation. Last but not least, predetermined rules and goals define a game's playable experience. And since a game's rules are unlikely to significantly change just to accommodate a marketing partnership, State Farm's campaign effectively added value to the in-game experience by introducing clothing items that tap into the goal of leveling up avatars. This concludes the first part of the Marketer's Guide to Game Experiences. Please check out Part 2 to continue your learning journey with the Gaming Marketing Institute. That way you can level up your career or business through gaming marketing. Once again, thank you and goodbye.